Today we'll discuss switching properties of PN junction. I, Dr. Vandana Ranga, will like to discuss this with you. For digital applications, a transistor is designed to function as a switch. In these applications, we use small base current to change the collector current from off position to an on position or vice versa in a very short time. The off condition corresponds to a very high voltage and low current state, and the on condition corresponds to a low voltage and high current state. A basic setup of switching device is shown in this figure over here, where the emitter base voltage EVB is suddenly changed from a negative value to a positive value. The output current of the transistor is shown in this figure. The collector current is initially very low because the emitter base junction and the collector base junction are reverse biased. The current will follow the load line through the active region and will finally reach the high current level where both junctions become forward biased. Thus, the transistor is virtually open circuited between emitter and collector terminals in the off condition, which corresponds to the cutoff mode, and short circuited in on condition, which corresponds to the saturation mode. Therefore, a transistor operated in this mode can nearly duplicate the function of an ideal switch. The switching time is the time required for a transistor to switch from the off condition to an on condition or vice versa. This figure shows that when an input current pulse is applied to emitter base terminal at time t is equal to 0, the transistor is being turned on. At t is equal to t2, the base current is suddenly switched to 0 and transistor is being turned off. The transient behavior of the collector current IC can be determined by variation of the total excess minority carrier charge stored in the base QBT. A plot of QBT as a function of time is shown in figure over here. During the turn on transient, the base stored charge will increase from 0 to QBT2. During the turn off transient, the base stored charge will decrease from QBT2 to 0 for QBT less than QS, where QS is the base charge when VCB is equal to 0 at the edge of saturation. The transistor is in the active mode. The variation of IC with time is plotted in this figure. In the turn on transient, the stored base charge reaches QS. The charge at the edge of the saturation at T is equal to T1 for QB is greater than QS. The device is operated in saturation mode and both the emitter and collector currents remain essentially constant. Figure shows that for any T greater than T1, say at T is equal to TA, the whole distribution P and X will be parallel to that for T is equal to T1. Therefore, the gradients at X is equal to 0 and X equal to W as well as the currents remain the same. In the turn off transient, since the device is initially in the saturation mode, the collector current remains relatively unchanged until QB is reduced to QS. The time from T2 to T3 when QB is equal to QS is called the storage time delay TS. When QB is equal to QS, the device enters the active mode at T is equal to T3. After that time, the collector current will decay exponentially towards 0. The turn on time depends on how fast we can add holes, minority carriers in the PNP transistor to the base region. The turn off time depends on how fast we can remove the holes by recombination. One of the most important parameters for switching transistors is the minority carrier lifetime tau p. One effective method to reduce tau p for faster switching is to introduce efficient generation recombination centers near the mid gap. The heterojunction bipolar transistor. We have considered the heterojunction earlier. A heterojunction bipolar transistor HBT is a transistor in which one or both PN junctions are formed between dissimilar semiconductors. However, the HBT has a higher speed and higher frequency capability in the circuit operation. Because of these features, the HBT has gained popularity in photonic, microwave and digital applications. For example, in microwave applications, HBT is used in solid-state microwave and millimeter wave power amplifiers, oscillators and mixers. Current gain in HBT. Let semiconductor 1 be the emitter and semiconductor 2 be the base of HBT. We now consider the impact of the band gap difference between these two semiconductors on the current gain of HBT. When the base transport factor alpha T is very close to unity, the common emitter current gain can be expressed as beta 0 is equal to alpha 0 1 minus alpha 0. This is equal to gamma alpha T divided by 1 minus gamma alpha T is equal to gamma divided by 1 minus gamma for alpha T is equal to 1. If we substitute gamma, we get for PNP transistors beta 0 is equal to 1 divided by DE divided by DN, PE0 by NP0, W by LE This is nearly equal to NP0 by PE0. The minority carrier concentrations in the emitter and base are given by PE0 equal to Ni square emitter divided by Ne emitter. This is equal to NC/Nv exponential minus Eg by kT divided by Ne. NP0 is equal to Ni square base divided by Nv base. This is equal to Nc dash Nv dash exponential of minus Ebg divided by kT divided by Nv. So where Nc and Nv are the densities of states in conduction band and valence band respectively, and Eeg is the band gap of the emitter conductor Nc dash, Nv dash and Egb are the corresponding parameter of the base semiconductor. Therefore, beta 0 is nearly equal to Ne by Nv exponential of Ege minus Egb divided by kT. This is equal to Ne by Nv exponential delta Eg by kT. Now we have just taken one example to explain this. HBT has a band gap of 1.62 electron volt for the emitter and band gap of 1.42 electron volt for the base. A BJT has a band gap of 1.42 electron volt for both the emitter and base materials. It has an emitter doping of 10 to the power 18 per centimeter cube and base doping of 10 to the power 15 per centimeter cube. If the HBT has the same dopings as BJT, find the improvement of beta 0. B. If the HBT has the same emitter doping and the same beta 0 as the BJT, how much can we increase the base doping of the HBT? We assume that all the device parameters are the same. Now we take the solution. Beta 0 HBT divided by beta 0 BJT, this is equal to exponential of Eg minus Egb divided by kT divided by 1. This is equal to exponential, if we put the values, 1.62 minus 1.42 divided by 0.0259. This is equal to exponential of 0.2 divided by 0.0259. This gives us exponential of 7.722. This is equal to 2257. We have an improvement of 2257 times in beta 0. Beta 0 of HBT is equal to Ne by Nb dash exponential of 7.722. This is equal to beta 0 BJT is equal to Ne by Nb. Nb dash is equal to Nb exponential of 7.722. This is equal to 2257 into 10 power 15. This is equal to 2.26 into 10 power 18 per centimeter cube. The base doping of the heterojunction can be increased to 2.26 into 10 power 18 per centimeter cube to maintain the same beta 0. Now we discuss the basic HBT structures. Most developments of the HBT technology are aluminum gallium 1-X arsenide and gallium arsenide material system. The figure shows a schematic of PNPN HBT structure. In this device, the N-type emitter is formed with the wide band gap aluminum X gallium 1-X arsenide, where the P-type base is formed in the lower band gap gallium arsenide. The N-type collector and N-type subcollector are formed in the gallium arsenide with light doping and heavy doping respectively. To facilitate the formation of ohmic contacts, a heavily doped N-type gallium arsenide layer is formed between the emitter contact and the aluminum gallium arsenide layer. Due to the large band gap difference between the emitter and the base materials, the common emitter current gain can be extremely large. However, the homo materials, in homo junction bipolar transistors, there is essentially no band gap difference. Instead, the ratio of the doping concentration in the emitter and base must be very high. This is the fundamental difference between the homo junction and heterojunction bipolar junction transistors. Figure shows energy band diagram of HBT under the active mode of operation. The band gap difference between the emitter and base will provide band offsets of the hetero interface. In fact, the superior performance of HBT results directly from the valence band discontinuity delta EV at the hetero interface delta EV, increase in the valence band barrier height in the emitter base heterojunction, and thus reduce the injection of holes and base to the emitter. This effect in the HBT allows the use of a heavily doped base while maintaining a high emitter efficiency and current gain. The heavily doped base can reduce the base sheet resistance. In addition, the base can be made very thin without concern about the punch-through effect in the narrow base region. The punch-through effect arises when the base collector depletion region penetrates completely through the base and reaches the emitter base depletion region. A thin base region is desirable because it reduces the base transit time and increases the cutoff frequency. Now we talk about the advanced HBTs. In the recent years, the indium phosphide based, the indium phosphide indium gallium arsenide or indium aluminum indium arsenide, indium gallium arsenide materials we have become extensively used. In the indium phosphide based heterostructures, we have several advantages. The indium phosphide and indium gallium arsenide structure has very low surface recombination, and because of a higher electron mobility in the indium gallium arsenide than in gallium arsenide, a superior high frequency performance is expected. A typical performance curve for an indium phosphide based HBT is shown in this figure. A very high cutoff frequency of 254 GHz is obtained. In addition, the indium phosphide collector gain has higher drift velocity at high fields than that is in gallium arsenide collector. The indium phosphide collector breakdown voltage is also higher than in the gallium arsenide. Another heteroduction in the silicon germanide material system. This system has several properties that are attractive for HBT applications like aluminum gallium arsenide HBTs, silicon germanium HBTs have high speed capability since the base can be heavily doped because of the band gap difference. The small trap density at the silicon surface minimizes the surface recombination current and ensures a high current gain even at low collector current. Compatibility with standard silicon technology is another attractive feature. The figure shows a typical silicon germanide HBT and silicon homojunction bipolar transistor. The results indicate that silicon germanide HBT has a higher current gain than the silicon homojunction bipolar transistor. Compared with gallium arsenide and indium phosphide based HBTs, the silicon germanide HBT, however, has a low cutoff frequency because of the low mobilities in silicon. The conductivity band discontinuity delta AC is shown. This figure is not desirable since the discontinuity will make it necessary for the carriers in the heterojunction but to transport by means of thermionic emission across a barrier or by tunneling through it. Therefore, the emitter efficiency and the collector current will suffer. The problems can be alleviated by improved structures such as the graded layer and the graded base heterojunctions. The figure shows an energy band diagram in which delta AC is eliminated by graded layer placed between the emitter and base heterojunctions. The thickness of the graded layer is Wg. The base region can also have a graded profile which results in the reduction of the band gap from the emitter side to the collector side. The energy band diagram of the graded HBT is illustrated in figure. Note that there is a built-in electric field EBI in the quasi-neutral base. It results in a reduction in the minority carrier transit time and thus an increase in the common emitter current gain and the cutoff frequency of HBT EBI can be obtained. For example, by linearly varying the aluminum mole fraction X of aluminum X gallium 1 minus X arsenide in the base from X is equal to 0.1 to X is equal to 0. For the design of the collector layer, it is necessary to consider the collector transit time delay and the breakdown voltage requirement. A thicker collector layer will improve the breakdown voltage of the base collector junction but proportionally increase the transit time. In most devices, the high powered applications, the carriers move through the collector at the saturation velocities because very large electric fields are maintained in this layer. It is possible, however, to increase the velocities by lowering the electric field with certain doping profile in the collector layer. One way is to use P- collectors with a P plus pulse doped layer near the subcollector for an NPN HBT. Therefore, electrons entering the collector layer can maintain their higher mobility of the lower value during most of the collector transit time. Such a device is called ballistic collector transistor BCT. An energy band diagram of a BCT is shown over here in this figure. And so, energy band diagram, BCT has been shown to have more favorable frequency response characteristics compared to conventional HBTs over a narrow range of bias voltages. Because of its advantages at relatively low collector voltages and current conditions, the BCT is used for switching applications and microwave power amplifications. And that's all for today. Thank you.